Hello, welcome to day number 5 of the Receiving More Festival. I don't know about you, but I have had such a wonderful time this week. It's been such a pleasure to spend this time with you. I have really enjoyed seeing all the different people interacting, sharing, some of the limiting beliefs, sharing some of the breakthroughs. It's just been such a brilliant week. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your participation. And do you know what? The universe will appreciate it too, because we know that the universe loves inspired action. And everything we've been talking about this week has been is all about receiving more and going to the next level and clearing those blocks. So, you are on the right path just by being here and just by taking action. It is going to help your manifestation efforts so much. So, let's recap what we have done already this week. If you've missed out on any of the days, maybe you want to go back and watch them. They're going to be up live until Sunday. This is going to then become a bonus in the School of Manifestation. So, feel free to dig in until Sunday. They're all pinned to the top of the Facebook group, so you can find them easily. So while I recap, if you're here live or if you're watching the replay, I want you to share in the comments, what is one thing that you have taken away from this week so far? What is one thing that you've maybe had an insight on? Have you gone and done something different? Have you just had a new thought? Maybe you've had a perspective shift. Let me know what has come up. What is your one takeaway? When we kind of synthesize, some of the things that we've been consuming and watching, and we actually, really crystallize that into a takeaway, an insight, it helps us to actually take action on it, rather than just blindly kind of listening and following along and going, oh yeah, this is really interesting. Actually, that really helps you to take action. So there's a really good reason why I actually ask you for that. Okay, so day number 1, we spoke about your money story. We spoke about all the things that you may be holding on to on a subconscious level, some of the things that might have happened in your past that you have come to believe over time that life is a certain way, that the world is a certain way, that money is a certain way. So we talked about rewriting your money story. So if you haven't done that, go back and have a look at that one. Day number 1. Number 2, we did a tapping session. It was really powerful. I absolutely loved that session. And I've also shared the tapping script as well. So if you're really into tapping, have a look in the comments. As long as you know the points, it does assume knowledge of the points. But if you know the points, and you can find loads of videos on YouTube, or go back and have a look at one of mine, from the Tap Along Tuesday hashtag, you can keep using that script. It's all about opening up to receiving more money and breaking through your money ceiling, which the money ceiling is like a subconscious concept of, that we've got this level that we're comfortable at. And if we go beyond that, if we get a little bit outside of our comfort zone, quite often sabotaging behaviors will come up. So that's a really good one to keep tapping on. And if you resonated with that, I would highly recommend that you return to that to clear different aspects and to clear new layers of that, because it's not really like, just tapping on it once and then, oh, yay, it's gone. I'm going to be good forever now. I mean, of course, that's possible. But for most of us, we need to work through the layers on these things. The analogy I can give you around that is a little bit like going to the gym once and expecting that you're going to be fit enough to run a 5K and that you don't have to do anything else. It's like, boom, done. Great. Thank you. It's not quite like that. Sometimes we need to keep training, keep building our muscle. And I like to call it our manifestation muscle. So every time we keep doing these things, we are building our manifestation muscle. Okay. So day number 3, we spoke about creating safety. We spoke about creating safety to go to the next level. And the reason why I ended up putting that one in, because safety came up so much on day number 2 during the tapping session. It was really, really interesting that the statements around safety really resonated with people. So we did a little bit more digging around where you may not be feeling safe around money and around going to the next level. Money is so tied to survival. When you think about it, the idea of poverty, poverty is one of the most terrible states for people to be in. And I think there's a huge amount of fear for many, many people. probably because we may have come from generational poverty. In my family, they went through times of being in the war, World War One, World War Two, and we've got these generational beliefs that come through, and it's still happening in our world today. And you may come from a family that's not that far away from people who are in these situations now. So we really need to look at these stories and create some safety to go to the next level. Yeah, Helen, I love what you're saying. It's onion layers as you clear, another one shows. Absolutely. I think, these things, they're never done. And I don't want that to be like, oh, sorry to break the news to you, but, this is an ongoing thing, because actually you up level and you up level and you up level, but it's almost like new level, old devil. There's new aspects of those things that come up for you over time. Once you actually master how to deal with these things, this is really what we're talking about here. These are the tools that you use on the journey in order to ensure that these old devils, these old beliefs, don't keep sabotaging you at each new level that you go to. So go back and have a look at day number 3, if there's anything around a sense of a lack of safety. And we also look at the downsides of going to the next level with money, which is a really important one, because we focus so much on the goal and we focus so much on it's going to be so perfect, it's going to be so amazing. And we fail to look at what the potential downsides might be. And if there's a downside that your subconscious mind is going, hell no, I do not want to have that in my life, you are going to sabotage all of your best attempts. So go and have a look at that. See if there's anything that comes up for you there. Yesterday, we spoke about how manifestation is a really active state. And I gave a little bit of an inside look into the School of Manifestation. And one of the modules where we talk about wishful thinking versus manifestation, because manifestation is not wishful thinking. And I have a 4-step process to help people go through and manifest powerfully. And so I shared in that session, it was basically one of the modules from the School of Manifestation where we talk about wishful thinking versus manifestation. What does manifestation actually look like, so that you can shine a light on where you might be wishing and hoping and idealizing, but it's never quite coming about because it's not actually manifestation. Okay, I want to have a look and see what people are talking about in the comments. So insight and takeaway, focusing and consciously making time to be present for these is powerful. Yes, thank you for saying that. Absolutely. Like, when we actually commit to the time to do these types of things, we're really giving ourselves permission to do the personal growth work, to do the development work that, is going to help us go to the next level. So that is a really, really powerful thing. Absolutely. Thank you. Someone saying, love what you're doing, Kerry. Thank you so much. I love what I'm doing as well. I'm just so happy to be here. Yeah. And me too. It's great to be changing it, and totally agree with new levels, old devils. Absolutely. Yeah. The change process, I think, is just, it's so exciting. It's so wonderful, but it brings up all your stuff. We just need the tools on the journey to deal with the stuff, and they don't hold us back anymore. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Okay, I wanted to tell you a little bit of a story today, and I might tell you a bit about my story as well. And I want to do it with the sense of, I want you to imagine when you're listening to this story, how amazing would it be for me to be in a position like this? Even if you're not manifesting the same things as what we're going to talk about, I want you to imagine how you would feel with these changes, how it would be for you to be able to celebrate something so humongous happening in your life and in your business. Because when you try on that celebration, you try on, that feeling of, wow, it's happened, it's amazing. You are vibrating and resonating at that level. You're getting closer to it manifesting in your own life. So hearing other people's stories is really, really powerful, especially if we're able to get past any triggers that come up, because I know it sometimes triggers envy and jealousy in a lot of people, which is normal, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of just like a sign that, that is something that I want in my life that someone else has. And it is a bit of a lack state because we're noticing the lack of it in our lives. So we want to start switching to an abundance mindset. Like, wow, isn't it so amazing that happened for them? That could happen for me, because if I see this potential in my reality, it means it's possible for me. Because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all have the ability to do amazing things. So if you see someone else doing amazing things, it is totally possible for you. So that's what I really want you to think about as you're listening to these stories. Okay, so before I go on to this, I'm just going to answer this question. What are your thoughts on vision boards and the 3-3 portal? Yeah, I can't speak to the 3-3 portal. I don't know enough about that one, but thoughts on vision boards, super powerful. Yeah, super powerful. There's a module in the School of Manifestation where I teach about, what the essentials are that I believe that go on your vision board to make it really, really powerful. Because sometimes they can be a little bit wishy-washy, and they're still activating. So it's not like there's anything wrong with that, but I think there's certain things that you can do to make your vision boards really, really powerful. There's some elements that you can bring into it with specificity. I can never say that word, so I'm glad it came out right the first time. So getting really specific, making it completely aligned with your goals, and actually maybe doing them more regularly than not, because I used to do them maybe once every 3 years or something, and now I actually think, right, I'm going to do it like once every 6 months, and I'm going to put on there what I am manifesting now. So that is what I've moved towards with vision boards. But yes, 100% love them. I think once you've created that really profound vision, once you've got really clear on what it is, and we've done a session in the 100 Days of Manifestation, which is here. If you want to go back and have a look through that, I talk about creating your profound vision. So I think once you've done that, and you can then start finding the imagery and maybe a few words that might summarize that on a vision board, that's really, really powerful. So that's a very high level overview of the kinds of things that we're talking about in the School of Manifestation. Yeah. Okay, so I want to give you an inspirational story here. So I was coaching with a lady called Grania, and if you're watching, Grania, hello, it's lovely to see you. I'm not sharing anything that she wouldn't want me to share, because she's actually written a bit about her story, and I've put that on my website. So she's given me permission to talk a little bit about what happened for her. So we were working together, we were doing coaching together. She was in a place where she really wanted to see some change in her life. She wasn't happy where she was living at that stage. And, and her business was doing pretty well, and it kept on growing. But, what she wanted to create in her life, she couldn't see how that could work financially. And what was really powerful about what Grania went through is that even though she couldn't see how to make it work financially, she still set that intention, and that was really powerful. The universe still responded. So even though she was living in a place where she's like, this house, it's okay, but, there's stuff around that, I would like a different environment. I'd like to be near the sea. I want to be more in the countryside. She had aspirations around a garden and things like that. So, she was really getting quite clear in her mind what it was that she actually wanted in a house. And the workplace that she was living in was becoming more and more and more out of alignment for her. The thing that she couldn't quite get to work on a logical level was the money piece. She couldn't see how that could work financially. And then what happened was that the universe manifested an opportunity. So she came across some information that got her to understand, actually, I might be able to sell this house. I might be able to move into a new place. And she was seeing how, possibly that could work. So she was open to the opportunity. So she kept on doing the aligned action. She kept on doing the research, having a look around, finding what she wanted. And then she manifested buyers for her place and had a period of an in-between period between two houses. So she sold the one, and then she was in an in-between phase, waiting to find her dream place. And during this time, it took about 6 months. And I want to share this part of her story particularly because I want you to hear that even when you're in a place where you have no idea how it's possible, so she got into a place in this in-between period where she started to doubt it was possible still. She started to see all the ways that she didn't think the money piece was going to work. She started thinking, oh my God, I've sold the old place. I'm going to have to go somewhere else. I'm going to have to maybe downgrade. Like, she had some worries going on. And then she manifested the opportunity for the finances to become available to complete a purchase on her dream cottage. She is now living near the seaside. She goes swimming at the beach. She is living in the countryside. She's running her business. Her business has, improved so much as well. And she's got her garden. She's got all the things that she was visualizing. And the money piece worked out. Now, it took her some time over that, because I'm trying to remember what the timeline was like. I think it was about 6 months that she was in this in-between period. And then there was, before selling, there was a little bit of time, like, I don't know, maybe it was 2 or 3 months. So we're looking at a more extended period of time, because it's a big change that she was manifesting. And so she did have dips in her belief. And what I really want you to hear from this story is that even when you have dips in your belief, it is still possible. What was really prominent with Granier was that she kept returning to do the work, even when she felt like it wasn't possible, even when she felt like, oh, this is just not working. She still kept at it, and she eventually got there. And it was that, I think, sense of keeping on going and that resilience through that has ultimately enabled her to reach that destination of now living in the place of her dreams. And she had no idea what part of the world that place would be or anything, but she just put things together step by step by step by step. She took one step, the universe met her halfway, gave her another sign or gave her another opportunity, took another step, and then another thing was shown to her. And it was a lot of faith and a lot of belief that she needed to exercise in those moments. And she wasn't always high vibe. That's what I want you to hear as well. But it still happened. And so that's one of the things that she wrote as well. Like, even though I couldn't see how I could make it work, it's still like the universe responded, it still happened. And it was just so amazing to see that, that change in her and what she was able to create through that. So I think that's the power of this work that we're doing here. We're able to take these things that we really aspire to have in our life that might feel really, really unbelievable. And it's okay for, maybe it will take time. It's okay if some days, you have dips in your belief and you have dips in your belief that it's even possible, or your ability and capability to get this done. It's okay, as long as you keep returning and keep returning to it, it can happen over time. And, we talk about money and we talk about business a little bit in here. And I think, that's really just like it's almost like that's the entry point. That's the door that opens things up into changing your life. Because I've certainly experienced that when I've started applying these manifestation principles into my business, things changed radically for me. I can also resonate with Grania, because, if you met me in like the probably the late noughties, so like around 2007, 2008, I was living in shared accommodation in London. I was living in a place where I didn't really have a lot of space to myself. I remember the last place that I lived in, because I ended up like changing houses quite a lot. The last place I lived in, they were renovating at the time. I remember coming home one weekend and the people who owned the place, they had gone away, and we had no power the whole weekend because the builders had come in, turned the power off, never turned it back on. I didn't have the builder's number. And then, the people who owned it had gone away. So I had to go and stay at my friend's house because I was like, there's no power here. I can't stay in the dark. That was like probably one of my lower points. And, I have ended up manifesting a place in London where I realize now, actually, that I manifested this even from my teenage years. I remember dreaming about living in a place that was, a little bit more urban. It had, coffee shops around. It had nice cafes. It had things for me to do down the road. And after living in that last place, I manifested the opportunity to live in this apartment. We've got things that I've never had before. We've got, a free parking space. We've got a shed to put my bike in. These little things, I don't know if you've ever lived in London or a big city before, but these little things, that I used to take for granted when I lived in Australia, they're so valuable because the average place doesn't have them when you're living in a big city. So, I realize now looking back that the little bits and pieces that I wanted in a home, I've managed to manifest that as well. So similar to Granier, I can see how, I was able to change my life in that area through manifestation. And, I just started doing it from there, really. As I opened up my business and I started applying these manifestation principles, going from a place of being, employed and being on quite low income and not being really happy in what I was doing, and then taking the leap into natural health and being a natural health practitioner. And then I was able to start manifesting through, understanding these manifestation principles. I was able to manifest clients. I was able to manifest wonderful clients to work with. Sometimes when I wasn't so tuned in, I manifested, things that didn't quite work for me. And I've learned a lot and I've honed the process quite a lot through that. So I've gone from a place of being, employed and, only earning, I think my last salary was about 28,000, and now going into, having different income streams and having over a 6-figure business now. And that's the possibility that's available, and now what I'm manifesting actually, because I see how my working hard and having to earn belief has influenced that. I'm now actually looking to manifest working, earning more and working less instead of actually multiplying my hours along with my my money. But that's kind of where I'm moving to. So I've used these principles in many, many areas of my life. I've got lots of different stories I can tell you. But yeah, Helen's asking about what about manifestation crystals. I think crystals can also work really well. To be honest, I haven't used any of these external things a lot, mainly because I think the most powerful thing is your mind. You are the creator of your life. You are the creator of your reality. When you start working on a mindset level, when you start working on your emotions and the energetics, that is when things change from within. So crystals can enhance that. But I think the most powerful thing that you can do is to work on yourself. Yeah. So yes, we've got very much transition. I'm moving to a new home, not quite sure where yet or how. So great to hear this story. You're so welcome. I'm really glad that was resonant. And look at the time that came through. 2:22. I feel like the angels are saying something there. That's a sign for me. So if you're in that transition, I think, this is the thing that you want to be doing. Just like Granier, just like me, you've got those bits and pieces that there's lots that you don't know. And maybe the money piece is one of the things that you don't know, but you may have elements that you know of. I want somewhere that's got a garden. I want somewhere that's near the beach. For me, I want somewhere that I can store my bike. I want somewhere that I can have a car parking space. I want somewhere that I can walk down the road and have lunch or have coffee. Those types of things. So just keep focusing on those types of qualities. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know where the money's coming from, but I'm going to take a step forward. And it's the same if you're creating a business. And you want a new income stream in your business. Maybe you want, like me, I'm looking at, how can I change things up a little bit so I have fewer working hours and more time with my daughter, but don't change the income level too much. So I don't know how that's going to happen, but I'm focusing on, the qualities of that. I spend more time with my daughter. I work this many hours a week. I do this type of work. And, these are the types of things I do every day. Maybe I've got help with some people doing things for me that I don't particularly like doing. And I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm just focusing on the outcome. So that is the thing to really, really do. And that's what I wanted to really say to you today is that, it is your time. It's your time to shine. I wanted that to be like the theme of day 5. This is your time. And the thing that I think with the people that I've coached around this and what I've seen within myself, what the most common traits are is just keeping on returning to the process, keeping on returning and having the faith. Even if you check out for a day, a week, a month, come back to it. Come back to it at some point and just keep on working towards it in whatever way you are shown how, whatever way you know how at that point. And then just focus on all those little glimpses of the vision that you know of at this stage. And that is really the qualities that will really help you to get to that. So maybe you want to think to yourself, what is it that I can focus on today? How can I keep on returning, keep on keeping on with the journey, not quitting? Because really the way to success is not quitting. That's really what it is at the end of the day. Just keeping on going, even when things feel like they're not working. And you know what? I've still got some of those manifestation breakthrough calls available that I was telling you about yesterday. So if you want to hop on a call with me to talk about this, I would be more than happy to do that. You know, if you want to stop this trial and error and you want to look at, you know, how can you bring about this profound change in your life, you know, I've still got some spots for those calls available. I'm going to come back in afterwards. I'll drop the link into the comments here. You're very welcome to jump on a call with me. It's 30 minutes. Completely free. There's no obligation at all. We go through 3 things on these calls. We take a look at where you're at now and where you want to get to. And then I want to help you identify what the one thing is that's holding you back. It might be a limiting belief for you. It might be a lack of inspired action. It might be all sorts of things. There can be so many different things, but we're going to look at what's the top thing that's holding you back right now and get a plan in place so that you can go on and manifest to your next level. So we will come up with a plan for how you can leave that call to take action and start manifesting the life of your dreams. So if you want to jump on this, I would be very happy to have you. And I'm going to put a link in the chat. And I've got some spots available as well over the weekend. I'm actually going away next week, so I might have a couple of spots next week, but definitely before I go, while I'm packing this weekend, I'll be really happy to jump on a call with you. So that would be really good. Yeah, Helen, I saw that you booked a call. Wonderful. I'm really looking forward to speaking to you about that as well. So these calls, they're really perfect for you if you're feeling stuck and you just don't know how that it would be possible, especially if you're kind of on that hamster wheel of working harder and, you know, maybe you're even good at manifesting, you're good at working harder, you're good at increasing your income, but it means that you're committing more time. You know, that would be really something that could help you a lot. If you're a spiritual woman in business, whether you've got a side hustle or whether you've got an established business and you love using the law of attraction, but you really want to understand how to make it work practically for you, I can really help you with that because I've gone through that before, figured it out, and I've come up with that 4-step system. So I can definitely help you with that. And if you want to just stop getting by just month to month and go to the next level, these are the types of situations that I can help you with a lot on these calls. So yeah, those are still available. I will drop a link in the chat. Now, just before we wrap up today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the School of Manifestation because I had some questions. And the School of Manifestation is my coaching program that I'm just opening up, actually. So I'm recording the first module this weekend, which I'm really excited about. And the core modules in there are really the 4-step manifestation process that I mentioned to you before. So we go over the four steps, which is the profound vision and the clear request, clearing space, creating a vacuum in your life and your business so that the new stuff can come in. We talk about creating aligned action, taking aligned action, both in terms of how you manage your money and, you know, how you become a really good steward to money, but then also how you can take aligned action in your business or your life, depending on what you're working towards. And then also how you open up and allow and receive. So that's step number 4, because once you've asked the clear question, you've given the clear, you've got your profound vision, you've got lots of details about how your life is going to be different, you've cleared the space, you've created the vacuum, you're taking all of that action. Sometimes what stops people is that they aren't allowing, they aren't opening up, and they're not receiving. They're not being open to receiving. So that is something that we talk about a lot in the School of Manifestation. So I've had people asking me how long this program is. It's been designed as a 6-month program. So you would be in the container for 6 months, working towards something. So, we might have a big goal, but we'll then bring it back to where will you be in 6 months if you've taken one step towards that, and that's what you want to see in 6 months. That is what we work towards in there. So what we actually do in the School of Manifestation is we go through and you learn those 4 steps, and you also learn some of the tools that I have available to help you stay on. Some of those things might be, I've got a tapping bank that I'm developing that's all around receiving and allowing abundance. There's some other tools like some journaling prompts that are really, really powerful. I believe journaling is almost like you're literally writing your desires into reality. I think there's something very, very powerful about journaling. Someone asked me as well, is there private coaching? Yes, that is available. It's also a group program. And I think it's a really powerful place to be in a group program like this, because I've done group programs before. I've done a number of different ones, and I've learned bits and pieces over time. And what I found when I did group programs was that people have their own struggles. You come along to coaching calls, you learn stuff, you learn how they're implementing these things in their life, you learn these new tricks and things that they're doing, and you try them on for size. Sometimes you hear someone getting coached and you don't even realize that you have that belief process in your mind running the show, and then it just comes to light and you're like, oh my God, now I can change that because I have that too. So that's some of the benefits of the group program. But sometimes people want private coaching, and I do offer that as an add-on as well. So we can do private sessions outside of the group as well. So that is the School of Manifestation. It's just opening up now. We have some new founders joining. It's really, really exciting. I'm really looking forward to getting kicked off in earnest. The first group call is next week. And if you're interested in joining, I'll be happy to talk to you about it. So feel free to send me a message, send me any questions. I have got some bonuses as well. I normally have 2 bonuses that I reserve for people who pay in full. But for anyone who wants to join before Sunday, you will get a printed copy of the journal posted to you, and you will also receive a special tapping, which is all about tapping into a specific number. I mean, tapping is just so amazing. It can be used in so many ways, including how you can actually clear any blocks, any resistance towards tapping to a specific money goal and manifesting that in your life. So, if you're interested, let me know. Be happy to talk to you about that. I'm really excited about this program. And let's see what's going on in the comments. Okay, all the 2s. Yeah, it's my number. Being a numerologist, I love it. Oh, fantastic. Well, that was meant to be, wasn't it? 222, and it's your number as well. Wonderful. So yeah, that's what I had for you today. It is your time to shine. So, what is it that you can take from this call? Maybe it's I want to return with faith and belief to this process and commit to it. Maybe it is that inspiration, just remembering Granier's story, remembering my story, remembering Kate's story from yesterday that I shared, that she, she increased her income by 270% over 4 months. And her stuff was so simple. She really didn't even do that much around the energetics or visualizing or anything like that. So yeah, it can be done very, very easily. Thank you so much for being here today. I just want to say I love you all. I appreciate you all. It's been a wonderful journey with you this week. If you're jumping on a call with me this weekend, I'm really looking forward to chatting to you. And then I'm going to be on a little bit of a break next week and spending some time with family, but I'm going to be back soon. So I will speak to you soon. Have a wonderful day, and just feel free to tag me if you've got any questions in this chat, and I'll come back and answer later. Bye for now.